In previous section, we have seen how a React router can be configured. This section, the product details page where we are showing just the text. Instead of that, now we need to display the selected products data here in the product details page. So now we already have the data fetched in this particular page. So when the product is selected, we need to pass the data to the product details page. When the product is selected, we are going to pass the data using the router only. We can also use the query string, but that will actually increase the size of the URL. And ideally we see that in applications like this, often that data is passed through the routers only. Let's go back to the coding. And in the product page, when that item is clicked, we are going to pass the data. So now to pass the data, here with the to, we are going to define an object literal instead of just a string. You have to have a path name. That is the URL. Let me also add the state, which is the data. And there I'm going to pass the item. So let's save this and we go back to the product details page. Now this is where we should receive the data which is passed through router. Let's first of all check whether we have that data or not. So I'm going to define the item here. And inside the props, we'll have the router details with location, and that will have the state. So whatever data is passed through router is received in this location state. Let's just check what do we receive in the props location. Let me just save this and go back to the output. I'm going to click the product page. Let me open the developer tool first. Switch to console. Now I'm going to click the product. Now you see that we have this location details where the path name is also there. The state, if I expand, then you see that you have the item details. Now these are the details which we want to show on this page. Let's go back to the coding. So we have the item on line number 7 that is going to contain the details. So now I'm removing this constant and starting the designing. Using few HTML text to display the data. Nothing much to explain on this. You can easily make out. So one division I've displayed the image. The second division, we are going to display some headers. Here I'm going to say item name. So now in the page you see that there is some basic information, that is image and the product, though it is not properly aligned, but that we are going to do. Now you see that when I click on the product 2, it displays the product 2. So any product I select, if I say 3, then it's going to display the related information. So the data is passing properly through the router. Alright, so this functionality is working. Now let's also fine tune the designing. So we are going to have some CSS and divisions also for segmentation. I'm going to show 5 stars here for the rating. Now let me also add a division for displaying the price. So I'm going to say item dot price. Let's also add some description. At the moment, we do not have a field for description, but at least let me put a constant. So description goes here. Now let's check the output. Let me click on product 1. And now you see that we have the information getting displayed. Let's add few classes. There is a class product details text, which we are going to add in a moment. So I add the product details CSS, and the class we are going to use is product details text. Adding some font weight, text transform, margins. Now let me import the CSS file here. Let me add a class for rating. Now you see that the color is visible for stars. Now let's add the price related formatting. So I'm going to say product details price. Now let's add this to CSS. Now you see that the formatting is applied on price as well. Let's also format the price. So I'm going to use the parse float. So we get the decimal. And I want 2 decimals. So now we have the value displayed properly. Let me also format the section. So now we have designed the basic product details page. Now we need to add a button to add this product to cart from this page as well. That's what we are going to see in the next section.